changes there. Thank you, Mr Chair.
Andrew Williams.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair. Take a call on the Tasman bill, District Council Validation and Recovery of Certain Rates Bill. And for those of you who suffer from insomnia, which I do at times, I recommend that you get a copy of Hansard of Phil Heatley's speech and take it. I'm certainly going to take it home tonight. No, because it was an interesting speech, but to the Honourable Phil Heatley, my goodness, it was full of all sorts of facts and information that probably we didn't need. At the end of the day, this council made a simple mistake. Made a simple mistake, Phil. They made a simple mistake. They omitted basically to include a map in with the information that was sent out with their annual plans, and that map would have, had it been included, would have designated where these particular rates were going to apply, and therefore the people in this particular area of Tata Beach, Liger Bay, were not fully aware that it applied to them, and as a result this all blew up. The Mayor of Tasman District Council, Mayor Richard Kempthorne, sent a letter on the 27th of August to the Honourable Damien O'Connor, who's sponsoring this bill, and congratulations to that Member of Parliament for bringing this through. And the Mayor summarised it very well. He said, Council fully acknowledged that we made an error in setting the 2006-7 rate for the Tata Beach Liger Bay stormwater urban drainage area. We regret that the error was made. If we had included the required map, the rate would have been lawfully made and the rates would have been payable. Therefore, passing the bill in its current form would validate a rate that would have been made lawfully if the map had been included. We are not asking to validate something that Council could not have done lawfully if we hadn't made that mistake. The extent of and amounts of the rates was clear in the 2006 Long-Term Community Plan, the LTCCP. When we discovered the error, we undertook a review of the inclusion of Tata Beach in the stormwater UDA and consulted the ratepayers in Tata Beach on the options of being included in or excluded from the stormwater UDA. More people preferred the option of staying in the UDA, otherwise the status quo, than any of the other options. We've explained to you, and this was in terms of to the MP and to the Select Committee, we've explained to you that Tata Beach and Liger Bay ratepayers receive a service from the stormwater infrastructure provided in their communities, and they pay for this through our club approach. In our view, not only is there no legislative powers to remit the rates, but it would also not be equitable to remit the rates to the Tata Beach and Liger Bay ratepayers. Our reasons for this are that it would mean other ratepayers in the district would then have to pay for stormwater services, including those in Tata Beach and Liger Bay, while the ratepayers in Tata Beach and Liger Bay don't pay anything. There is a heavy demand for stormwater infrastructure across the district following recent flooding events. This is particularly prevalent in Liger Bay following the devastating flood flow in December 2011. In the end, Council came to the clear view that remitting rates over one or more years with these ratepayers was not a lawful or practical solution. And so, in terms of that, the Local Government Committee had no alternative but to accept this information and acknowledge the fact that if there was going to be any form of remittance of rates, it would have been a burden on all the rest of the ratepayers in the Tasman district, which would have been unfair. And secondly, if you then have to go and try and fine ratepayers over a period of several years, and properties change ownership and they change in terms of their titles and all this sort of thing, it would be a nightmare trying to refund rates or return rates or pay out rates to whoever owned the properties at the time and all this sort of thing. And it becomes a nightmare, simply because of the fact that a map was not included and it was an administrative error. Mistakes happen. Mistakes happen in central government, mistakes happen in local government. This is a very minor mistake, a very small one. And again, as some other speakers have said, we would hope that this national government does not again use this as an example of local government in terms of, again, wanting to try and highlight inadequacies in local government when, in actual fact, like any organisation, there will always be human error. This was a case of human error, and we would hope that we don't, for the next 6 months while we're going through the local government amendment bill, hear these sorts of excuses as being justification for the National Party and the national government kneecapping and undermining local government in this country. We have two tiers of government. We have central government and we have local government. We don't have three like they have in Australia or the States or many other countries. We only have two. And our local government is very much the grassroots delivery agents for what government needs to roll out around this country. If this government continues to undermine, Mr. Chair,
Andrew Williams.
if this government continues to undermine local government, as it is doing in this latest local government amendment bill, then all we will see simply is a breakdown of much of the infrastructure of New Zealand and the support infrastructure of New Zealand, so vital to making New Zealand a success. In terms of the Local Government Amendment Act, which is very much in line with what we're seeing in this situation, is we have to support local government to do its very best, because at the end of the day there's $100 billion in assets out there in local government, and these assets in the Tasman district are just part of that, but $100 billion of assets are out there within local government. They are very, very vital to ensuring the future success of this country, and we cannot have central government undermining the efficient delivery of services by local government throughout New Zealand. We're hearing more and more feedback from around the provinces, around the rural areas, and these are in National Party electorates, that mayors who you would think were National Party mayors are saying enough is enough, and they are getting tired of the National Party and tired of the national government undermining the good work that local authorities are doing throughout the country. And I think it's time that the national government looked at themselves seriously and said, do we want to bring local government to its knees, and do we want to end up in a situation where New Zealand, the communities are broken up, community of interests are destroyed, where it's all about the dollar and it's all about making money out of local government rather than making good communities and good communities of interest. But it seems to be that at the present time this national government has wanted to drive it down the CCO route, the council-controlled organisations, to have decisions made behind closed doors, to have decisions made by unelected people, and to have decisions made that are in the interests of their mates and big business and people with interests in commercialising local government rather than ensuring that local government is there to deliver on behalf of the people. So New Zealand First supports this bill with the Tasman District Council. This is a very, very minor blip in terms of the significant work that the Tasman District Council does. They're in an area where they have suffered significant storms, significant flooding, all sorts of significant events in the Tasman District in the last decade, and this is a very minor aberration in terms of their overall work, and we commend the Tasman District Council for its ongoing good work, and we support this bill.
Nikki Wagner.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. As we've heard in the House tonight, this bill is about